Hello, what's up YouTube, Ronix with an actual, and in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how I did the color grading for this very image. I know it has been a while ever since I took these photos. I took them sometime at the end of last year, so I want to show you how I'm going to do a color grading for this very image, and also in what will be like a part 2 for this very retouching series. We're just going to be learning about how to do the skin retouching for a full body portrait and what I usually do to correct some variations in the photo and remove distractions from my images in Photoshop. So for this very first series, we're just going to be focusing more on the color grading, and let me show you the before and after for this image. So this is the before and after. Before after, we're just going to be getting the image to look like this. I'm just going to come and I reset everything so that we do this in Capture One. Those that always ask me about the software I use Capture One 21, and usually I have my adjustments on the right hand side. And if at all you just want to have the same like I do here, just come to window and come to workspace and come down to migration, and you'll have them looking the way I have. And if at all you're missing any adjustment in your Capture One, just simply right click anywhere on this other side and come to add tool, and you can add that tool that you're missing. So in Capture One, I tend to leave my exposure warning option turned on because I want to see the clipping areas or the overexposed areas in my photos. So for outdoor images, I tend to take my highlights down because I want to regain back information within these areas of my highlights, and I simply do the same for my whites slightly. Then I take down my blacks a little bit. Then I open up the shadows slightly, and that is it for the basic or high dynamic range in Capture One. Then I tend to add a little bit of contrast within the image up to around 6. Then after doing this, we're just going to come to down to our levels and simply add in blacks. So just click and take the blacks in and do the same for the whites. I think that looks great. So the next thing I'm going to do for this image, I'm just going to open up the shadows a little bit more. So that is done for the basic color corrections, and the next thing is going to be working on the image itself to do the color grading and matching or evening out the skin tones. So what we're just going to do, we're just going to simply right click under the layers and create a new field adjustment layer. So usually I tend not to want to do the color grading on the same layer as my background, because if at all I want to eliminate adjustments from specific areas, I can work with it right here, and I can as well reduce on the opacity of my color grading if at all I have it on a way separate layer. So I'm just going to come on this layer, that is what I'm going to be doing the color grading. I'm just going to come down here and come to my color editor option. So when I come to color editor, I have basic, advanced, and skin tone. So for the first thing, I'm just going to focus more on the skin tone and get my color picker tool and just zoom into this image using Ctrl plus and using the spacebar to click and hover around. So I'm just going to sample the area I want as a reference for the rest of the skin. So this is going to be fine, and I'm just going to take the range all the way outside. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come to my uniformity slider and move it towards the right hand side so that I tend to get the colors looking as uniform as possible, and I'm going to take the saturation up too. So after doing that, I'm going to come to my amount and I take this was the right hand side to add a little bit of greens within the image and have my skin looking a little bit more natural. So 4.1 is good, and I'm going to take down the saturation slightly. So we are done working on the skin tone, and if at all I'm to show you the before and after, this is the after and this is the before after. You can see what we have right now. The next thing is going to be the environment right here. I usually, I'm not a fan of the natural greens. So what I'm going to do basically, I'm going to come to this option where it says basic, and I'm going first of all play around with the greens. So I'm just going to click on the greens and take the hues towards the right hand side until the greens are starting to look a little bit bluish. And after doing that, I'm just going to come to the saturation and simply desaturate that color, and that is the look I'm trying to go in for. I'm also going to come to my yellows and do the same. I'm just going to take the yellows slightly up to around 7.8 and slightly desaturate those yellows. So next thing I'm going to do, is focusing more on the blue. So I just want the blue sky to pop in this image. So if at all I want the blue to be evident more, or the sky to be more evident in this image, I'm going to come to the blues and simply, right here we have hue, saturation and lightning. So I'm just going to come the saturation of the blues and take it all the way up, and you can see the blues are really really brought back, and they are not desaturated like they were. So this is more like of a personal choice or preference. So I'm just going to hue them down towards a little bit of the aqua side, just like that. And after doing that, I'm just going to take the lightness down, just like that, so that my photo can really pop even more. So you can see what we have right now, and let's see what we have in the before and after. So this is our before, and this is the after. Before, after. I hope you can see, and I just really hope you love this very image. So let me just zoom in so that you can see everything quite well or better. This is our before, and this is the after. Before, after. This is how I did the color grading for this very image. And if at all you really want, you can just come and enhance the image even more. I'm just going to turn off the before and after. So you can as well come and add a little bit more of some greenish tint within your highlights. So under color balance, we have shadow, midtone and highlight, and under 3 we have all these options in one window. So just want to work with the highlights, and I'm just going to add a little bit of greens within my image. And the more you take this circle towards the edge, the color is going to be too much, and the more you reduce it, it is going to desaturate or reduce on the intensity of that color. So I'm just going to add a little bit of greens within this image. So zoom out and we see what we have so far. So we can see a before and after right here. So I'm just going to turn this off, and if at all you feel like you have gone or you have really done the color grading and it is very intense, you can come to our layer right here that has the color grading. I hope you can see the before and after. You can come to opacity and take it down if at all you feel like it is a little bit intense or too much. So basically this is how I do the color grading, or how I did the color grading for this very image. And the next thing, which is going to be the part 2 for this very tutorial, is going to be how I do skin retouching on full body images. I know someone asked me why I always post tutorials for only retouching the face, and I want to show you how I'm going to correct and match the colors of the face to this other side down right here, and also how I'm going to do it in Photoshop, and also do the overall skin retouching and removing these distractions from the image. So this is all for the color grading tutorial, and I'm hoping to see you in the part 2 for this tutorial. That is going to be the retouching, color correction and brightening up, or making sure that I have a brighter or balanced lighting on this very image. And it's going to be quite challenging, but we're just going to be working with it. And stay tuned, and I just hope you're looking forward to yet another tutorial. And let me show you how I'm going to take the image into Photoshop, and we can start from there, and I'll see you in yet that part 2 of this very series.